What's up, YouTube fam? I'm Jay.
And I'm Destiny.
And we're back with another episode of Black Fire.
Yo, so we about to talk about another fucking crazy ass episode of Lovecraft. And if you guys have been watching the episode, you guys already know that it's always fucking crazy. Thank you, Jordan Peele.
I know. This is exactly what we needed right now.
Honestly. So we're going to be recapping episode 7. So I remember we left off of, I think it was like a couple episodes back, maybe episode 4, with Hippolyta. She was like super suspicious about George's death. Like she's not getting the answers that she needs.
Right. She knows something's going on. She knows. What story did they tell him that he got shot?
Yeah,
by
he got shot by a sheriff.
Yeah. So she's smarter than that. She's like, nah, that's
because like the facts wasn't adding up. Like they should have put their stories together like better.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, she finds like a map in the car, and it was George's map because he was marking the locations to get to Lovecraft.
Right.
And she was like, "What the hell is this?" So she goes to the Lovecraft mansion to go get the answers that she needs. Mm-hmm. But you already know it's burned down. So when she gets there, she finds her daughter's comic book, and that's pretty much it. And she was just like, "Yeah, I know something else happened to him."
Right. Because George took it on a trip.
Yeah, and that was like really special to him. So she's back in her room, like messing with the solar system, and she's talking to herself. At first, I thought she was talking to a ghost. I was like, "Who the fuck is she talking to?"
Right.
Like, she just talking to herself, and I was like, "Okay." So the solar system opens up because she kept like fucking around with it, and out pops a key with like coordinates and shit. So she just goes, she leaves,
and that's crazy to me for you to be like, 1354.
Okay.
Like, oh my gosh, I was so lost, and then when she like tilted them, I was like,
bitch, I was so confused.
Okay.
I was like, what is she doing? And she was like, this goes like this, this goes like that way, and then out pops a key, and these are the coordinates, and I'm gonna go to this.
Right.
Like, you wasn't weirded out at all. Like, why is it telling me where to go and giving me a key? Like,
right. But you know what? Like, to be honest, I think she likes stuff like that.
Yeah, like adventures and shit like that. Yeah,
because she wasn't ever able to go on them. So she was just like curious, and it's like, okay, I'll just go. I don't have a daughter or anything.
No. Like, come on, your daughter was right there,
right.
Like wondering what the fuck was going on. But I feel like she really needed this.
Yeah, she
like,
did.
Definitely.
It was a trip she needed.
Yeah, definitely. And then now it switches to Ruby confronting Christina / William. This crazy bitch is really trying to justify her actions as fucking her as a man. Like, the fuck? What the fuck is going on? And then she shows her the bodies of William and that dog whisperer lady, because I already knew they were both dead. And I was like, okay.
It was a matching fell on William. And I don't even know if the lady had a name, but
I don't remember her.
Yeah,
name.
they killed
she
her.
said it. I was paying attention.
Yeah, they killed her when they went down there to find the dad, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I was just like, okay, what the fuck? And she was just like, yeah, I wanted to be in the order. My dad wasn't accepting me, and I wanted power. And I seduced William. And like, she's not apologizing to Ruby about what she did. She just like justifying her actions, and Ruby just looking at her like, bitch, you fucked me as a fucking man. Like,
that's
you
all I care about.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that? You lied like the whole fucking time. Literally put on a man's skin, decided I'm gonna seduce her and fucked her, and she was just like, well, that was my words. Like,
but you know what though? I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'd probably fuck somebody if I had a penis.
That's true.
I
would want to know. Like,
I'm a dude. She probably got kids.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I don't know, like, cause I was like, oh, William is fine, but I was like, he looks just like Christina. Like, they are the fucking same person. Like,
no, you know what? I mean, no, that was a good thing, like, for you to think about, but they wasn't.
I know.
They wasn't the same.
Crazy.
They wasn't the same person. They looked like they was related, though.
I thought they were related too, and I was like, okay, that's her brother. And it's weird because they never acknowledge each other until recently. And I was like, nah, this is the same fucking person. Because why all of a sudden y'all saying shit about each other?
Right.
That's fucking crazy. So the whole time Ruby's just like, you're not really giving me any answer. You need to tell me all this shit now. And then this bitch is just like, oh, I need the book of name pages, and it involves your family. I was like, oh, this bitch is using her. This crazy bitch. At first I was thinking like, oh, like maybe like Christina fell for Ruby. Nope. She using her just to get the damn pages because she wants to be like more powerful than the order because she was never accepted as a white woman. Blah fucking blah. Whatever,
struggle.
Bitch. The fucking struggle of a white woman. Okay, whatever. So like after that, After that, Lady's in her bed and she's having a dream that she's in a Lovecraft mansion. She's chasing after Atticus' ancestor. And all of a sudden, this bitch looks down and she's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Pregnant. And this bitch, and she caught on fire and she's looking at Atticus' ancestor and she has a book. And she wakes up like, oh shit, I'm not pregnant. Thank goodness.
Girl.
Okay, sure. You just had that dream out of nowhere. So she goes and tells Atticus about the dream. She doesn't tell him that she was pregnant in her dream. You know,
she trying to hide.
Yeah,
she knew already.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she's definitely pregnant, definitely. So the whole time they talking, they're talking about how like why did she run out of the Lovecraft mansion with only the book, and then Letty's just like maybe she took the book with her and learned how to use the spells, you know. So now. Atticus goes to go see his dad. After they go to Atticus' dad's house, and Atticus' dad is outside with his partner. But before we get to that, I was kind of happy that he was coming out as a gay black man. But then I also forgot that he beat the shit out of his son for being too soft when he himself was afraid to be a gay black man.
See, that's why when I found out, like when he went to the club, you know, the shows or whatever, and his eye was busted and he was just pissed the whole time, I was like, okay, like he hit your ass. He should. You used to beat his ass when he was little because you couldn't accept yourself.
Exactly, and that's fucked up. Yeah.
What kind of parent does that? Yeah. Like, even if you're scared of being judged by your kids, at the end of the day, you still the dad, you still the parent. You have to set an example for yourself. You cannot be scared of what other people think. Even though I know back then it was a different time. Yeah,
I understand that.
But you didn't have to put your hands on them.
That's no excuse for you to beat your son. And of course, Atticus was upset by it because he was like, "You used to beat me, calling me like soft and telling me that I didn't need to be soft, but the whole time you were gay and you were afraid to be gay.
Right?
Like that's no excuse for it.
From being you.
Yeah,
that makes no sense."
That's pretty fucked up. And he was just like, does his mom knew, like, and of course his mom knew that she was sleeping with George. Yeah.
No, he said she did.
Yeah, that she knew. Yeah. So I'm just like, that's fucking crazy, man. So Lady tells Atticus that.
Hold on. And Sammy didn't have to take all that.
Oh yeah.
Sammy
he
was
didn't
like,
have to take none of that shit because he could breakfast for him, and he was complaining the whole fucking time. And I was so happy when he stood up for himself. Like, no, don't even get back with Montrose. He does not deserve you, Sam.
Right.
Fuck him. Shit.
Right.
But anyway, Lady, she talked to Montrose, and then he told her about a cousin that's on Atticus' mom's side. So Atticus ends up going to Chicago, and Letty stays behind to make amends with her sister.
Then Letty ends up talking to her sister and basically tries to make amends with her.
Yeah.
And basically asking where she's been staying, and her sister really doesn't want to say where she's been staying.
Yeah, to me they both suspicious of each other. Like, you're not gonna tell me, I'm not gonna tell you.
Right.
So.
And then she kind of knows something's going on with Letty too. She like, you going a little bit too much, girl.
I think Christina told her everything but Christina's version of what happened.
Right. You know? I don't think Christina told her how she got the house because Letty then went into explaining how she doesn't know why her mom left her the money, and they started talking about her.
Which it wasn't even Letty's mom. It was Christina
who sent her the money in the first place.
Which I don't understand why she did that. Like,
so they could get a house. Because she has said that she kind of like pushed her into buying that house.
Oh.
So if she didn't have the money, she would have never got the house. Yeah. Therefore, she wouldn't need Ruby. So they end up squashing everything. Her sister is making some, I don't know, spaghetti or something with some garlic.
I thought it was chili.
It was something with some garlic in it. I'll say spaghetti. And so she's making the spaghetti. She's putting the garlic in it. And she's like, come over here and taste the stuff because, now she's hungry.
Yep.
She getting them
cravings. Y'all already know.
So she come over to the pot and she smell it and she like, that garlic. So then she just walk away because it's just more and more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It just immediately makes her sick to her stomach. And her sister's like, what's going on, girl? Like, you love garlic.
Yeah.
So she just didn't say nothing. She ran to the room.
Because at first she was like, oh, I'm sick. And then, like, Ruby was just like, sure.
Right, she already sick.
Yeah.
She already knows she's pregnant. So then she goes to Hippola's room just to, like, get some air. And she's like, looking out her window, she turns to the left and she sees this damn solar system thing spinning, which I wouldn't have paid attention to.
No,
I'm like, this is a dope toy.
But like she's seen it in her house. That's why she recognized it.
Right. So then she's kind of looking at it and she's like, oh shit, this is the thing from the mansions. Immediately calls Atticus, and Atticus is sitting there speaking with his grandmother. And his grandmother is just basically showing him all types of pictures after she said she couldn't help him with what he was asking for because she didn't know about the book or anything like that. No. But she is showing him all these different church ladies that used to pull on his cheeks and expect him to
that's so
remember.
Cute.
No, that brought memories back for me.
I know, me too. Like, you was 1 year old, man. You should remember. I'm like, how? Like, how am I supposed to remember? I was only one.
Right. So then the grandmother goes, answers the phone, and it's a lady, trying to look for Atticus or whatever. And then he notices that there's a lady at the church who has the same birthmark as him.
I think that was his cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was a cousin in the picture that had the same birthmark as him. And then a grandma is like looking at him all weird because he had his shirt all off, looking at his birthmark.
She just like, fuck, like, do I need to kick you out my house?
Like, looking like, this is why I don't mess with the side of the family. They're crazy. So he goes, he talks to Letty, and Letty was like, oh, I found the thing from the mansion. It was in your aunt's room. You need to help her. I'm pretty sure she's in some type of trouble. And that's why she didn't let us use her car earlier. Yep. Basically, Atticus runs and rushes to the observatory, which I felt kind of like, how did he know where it was at?
I think Letty gave him the coordinates, and I think he somehow figured it out on a map, and it got there like really quick. So I was like, maybe he was close because he was in St. Louis. So maybe it was close.
I don't know. I just think people back then just smarter than us. Because there's no way I would have been like.
I would have been like, I'm sorry.
52, 36 kilometers.
Honestly, I rely on maps for everything, so I wouldn't know how to help people later. I'm sorry, girl.
If it's not on maps,
I can't help you.
Right. So then it goes to basically her in the observatory figuring out how to use this big machine. And putting the coordinates in. I don't know what else she did.
I don't know. She was doing like formulas, and I was like, okay. I don't know how she figured it out, but she's like really intelligent.
Yeah, she's a smart lady. So she ended up with the key in, twisting and turning it, pops open, but then that's when the cops run down. And then so the cops are looking for her, finds her. Then she stands up and he's about to shoot her. Atticus runs in, basically beats the cops up, throws one of the cops in the time. What would you call
time
it?
Warp thing?
Yeah. Random time warp popped up. Everybody got distracted. Atticus threw one of the cops in there, and Hippolyta shot the other cop. And then Hippolyta was and Atticus was standing too close to the time warp and got sucked in.
Moved.
But when they got sucked in a different time.
Yeah, they got separated. Yeah.
Right. So then Hippolyta ends up going into this prison like type of room after she's abducted by these tall, I thought they was beautiful aliens.
Dude, I was like, that's a beautiful ass black robot lady, but before then I was like, oh, them android things is gonna kill her. They too damn big, and their colors are really pretty though. I was like, oh, they gonna kill her. It's like Prometheus. They gonna kill her ass. Like
she died from a goddess. So she's basically stuck into this room trying to figure out how to get out, and it kind of seems like a mental.
Yeah, it was like a mental thing, like severe therapy.
Right. Yeah. So it was just a white room, and then the beautiful alien, called her beautiful alien, walks in, and she's like, "You're not in prison," and shuts the little. Yeah. What do you call that?
I don't know what that was, like a shield.
There you go. She shuts the force so she can get out. I don't know, but so she's in there talking to herself a lot. And just saying random stuff, and that kind of got me because I'm not too smart.
Yeah, I don't know what she was saying. I was just like, I'm gonna just sit here and let her figure it out. Like, and she was like bleeding. Like, I think she was like cutting herself to get those things out of her arm. Like, I was like, oh man, she about to die in here.
Right. So basically, Thing comes back and says, "Name yourself," the beautiful alien, and she was like, "Where do you want to be?" Like, just basically pushing her, you know, to pop out of her shell.
Yeah.
And to, you know, basically just get her to go through like some
if
type
you had
of
true freedom,
psychedelic,
where would you want to go? Yeah.
Right. So then randomly, she was just like, "Oh, I want to go with Josephine Baker and dance." So, which is weird to
her like, what the fuck is going on with my mom? Like, she being real crazy right now.
Right. Home.
With my kid.
Right. So, from that point, she ends up going to the time continuum of like 1920s or so, and she's dancing with Josephine Baker. She gets worked right on stage with the other dancers, and she's dancing, but she's not doing it too well.
No, I thought it was so cute though, because she was so shocked, and I think Josephine Baker is one of her idols. Right. So she was just like, oh my god, she's right there. And like the lady who played Josephine Baker looked exactly like her, like so beautiful. It was crazy. Right.
So she's in there dancing, she's messing up, everybody's getting mad at her, and then the tops come on, and then everybody run off the stage, and then so they're like, you're not doing it right, how'd you get here, I don't like Americans, y'all know how to dance.
Girl, just insulting her, it was crazy. She just like, I don't know what to tell you.
Right. So then, I don't know, she started feeling herself or something, so she started practicing after Josephine Baker was like, don't you stop.
Keep going.
So then she was like, all right. And then she started doing like the doo-wop. I don't know what you call it.
I know. It was so cute.
So then she started breaking it down, showing everybody she could dance or whatever. So she's there with them. It didn't say if she was made like the choreographer.
Yeah, I think she was maybe like just an added on dancer. So.
I don't think she ever danced with them again though. Because she was never dressed like them again.
Oh, I think she was just like partying with them.
She was partying.
Pretty much it, yeah.
You can't dance, but you could party with us.
You can chill.
And she basically lets Josephine know that she finally knows what freedom is from being there and dancing nude or whatever like that. And she ends up at a party with Frida Kahlo and Josephine Baker. And she basically starts talking about how she feels angry about how she let the white people make her feel small, and she wanted to kill white people sometimes. So she gets sent to a country in Africa, and basically she's in the middle getting her ass kicked.
Yeah. And it's crazy because the word was like, I'm gonna strip all that fear out of you. Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful moment.
While she was getting her ass kicked.
Yeah.
I mean, could have gave me warning, but you know,
that word did not catch that. I'm just keep beating your ass until you learn how to fight.
Right. So Hippolyta gets thrown down multiple times, and the warriors basically encouraging her to get back up, to keep fighting, to show the other warriors that she's not weak.
Yeah, you know,
basically. So at that point, she gets sent to where they're basically going to war, but all the people that they're going to war with is like, I don't know, like East, like
it was England. Okay. That they were fighting against.
Okay, well, basically English people, and it was probably about what, like 35 or 45, I don't know. And it was probably like 12 warrior soldiers. And she goes and they're killing them all or whatever like that. They end up defeating them, but then in the background now she's talking to her warriors, her other black women, and telling them not to be discouraged, and you know, you don't have to feel angry and stuff like that, you know, never stop fighting and things like that. There's like a million of them behind her,
and then she was just like, you gotta do what you have to do,
right? And then she just didn't fight. That kind of got me. She was just like,
I thought she was gonna keep fighting. I was like, oh shit, okay, but then she was just like, no, I'm done.
She took her helmet off and was just like,
I'm done.
So I think she died at that point, but not really, because this is just like a psychedelic trip. Leia ended up getting sent back to being in the bed with George, who previously died. And she basically tells him that she felt like she was shrinking when she was with him. She got so used to just being a wife and being a mother.
Yeah, she forgot who she was, so she was just like, I'm gonna just shrink myself, and then it doesn't matter how I feel or what I want to do, you know?
Because I think a lot of women end up feeling like that, especially when they get married. It's like you get so mixed up with how's your husband doing, and how's your kids doing,
and worrying about their well-being. You forget to worry about yourself and how you're doing, and forget to check in with, like, am I okay today? Like, what do I want to do today? You know,
just self-love. You know? Or even some women, especially back then, would forget how to express themselves because men were always the main objective of everything.
Yeah, like they were like the breadwinner, so they had to like kind of submit to their husbands, which are really fucked up.
Right. So it was just like before, Hippolyta always used to want to go somewhere with George. George wouldn't let her.
No.
You know. So
and he even said it. He was like, I allowed you to shrink yourself. Like, I didn't say anything. I just let you.
Right. So at that point, after she's angry with him, she basically waits for him to say like, oh yeah, you know, that's what happened, I apologize, and she gets her closures. Then they go to discover animals and planets, which I think is kind of more like a how do you say it, like a closing, like closure.
Yeah, it was like, to me it was like a metaphor and like closure, and like there was a poem when they were like discovering like the planets and like different animals and stuff like that, when he was talking about how black people are a myth and how if we were real we could fit into society, and I related to that so well because with that imagery and with what he was saying, it made so much sense, especially with today's climate.
Yeah, it was really pretty too.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. Like, man, them graphic designers did their thing because it was beautiful.
Right. So then, after they go through all that, she ends up going back to the beautiful goddess, Nubian.
Oh, she was gorgeous, and her skin, that melanin was on point. Like, she was beautiful.
Right. And she basically floats back to her while she's in the universe after the poem is said.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you know, you basically got rid of not your earthly attachments, but like your baggage.
Your fear, yeah. Of being who you are.
Right. So, like, now that your baggage is done and you know who you are and you won't revert back to who you were, do you want to stay? So then she just felt good and free. You can tell.
She was just like, how can I gain so much freedom and be like who I am truly, go back to being in that world where I had to fit into society that didn't even want me.
Right. So basically, she was just light and airy and spinning around and basically saying like, well, I do have a daughter. Yeah. Now she remembers about her daughter. But okay.
She finally remembers.
Man, I was just worried about my baby. I'll be like, oh, my baby. Like, what's going on? Like, did the time stop there? Like,
what exactly happened?
Right, right. But I understand, you know, you have to go on your journey. And then, too, as parents, you don't really get that much time to yourself.
No.
So
she needed that time to really figure out who Hippolyta was.
Right. So she wants to go back to Earth and be with her daughter, and she feels like she changed and that she won't allow herself to be small anymore.
She could be who she is truly, no matter what, with no baggage.
Right. So then basically it goes back to 1950s.
Yeah, 1950s, 1960s. Yeah.
So it goes back to the 1950s where they were first swallowed by the Time Lord. And Atticus pops out.
And y'all, that twist, I was like, fuck. The next episode is about to be crazy as fuck.
Right.
Yo.
So Atticus pops up, but he has the book of Lovecraft in his hand.
And guess who wrote it? Guess who wrote the fucking book?
Who wrote the book?
His uncle fucking George. I knew that nigga is not dead. Maybe in an alternate universe.
He's somewhere.
But he's somewhere, and I know he's alive.
Right.
I know it. It's fucking crazy, man.
This damn show makes me feel like, am I alive?
Am I on drugs? But in like a good way. And I'm so intrigued by this show. And it's like,
it's so smart.
It's so amazing. And like the lesson that they put in it, to me, it's incredible.
That makes you think about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, especially with this show, man. It taught me that black women do not shrink yourselves for nobody. Be who you are and fuck whatever like anybody else thinks, you know.
Right.
And I feel like you need to really learn to love yourself and get to know who you are. Take time for yourself, you know.
Right.
We all need self-love.
We all, as black women, always get told, "Oh, you're too loud."
Yeah.
Oh, you got a weird name.
Or you have too much of an attitude.
Right.
Or you're too angry. Like, fuck them.
Right. You be who you want to be. And that's all that matters. And you don't really have to care about what anybody thinks about you.
Exactly. Like,
you know,
fuck it. Shit.
You have every right to be free. You have every right to be angry. You have every right to wear what you want to wear.
Yeah. And not be judged for it. And also, fun fact, the lady that was on a motorcycle, I could have sworn that she was hallucinating.
Wait, I ain't finished.
My bad, y'all. My bad. Like,
I
was getting hyped up. Like, I gotta tell you guys this. It's really important.
She probably didn't know. Okay, so basically, so he gets spit out. He has a book that was written by his uncle called Lovecraft Country, which I feel like is a way for him to try to get in touch with him. Like, hey, I'm still here. I'm alive.
But what if the Lovecraft Country book is the book names? Like, what if that's the spell book?
Don't do that to me right now. Okay, so anyway, Hippolyta's daughter comic book actually got dropped at the scene where the dead officer was at. So basically, Atticus just took the key out and because he was doing something, and he messed up the machine. So Hippolyta is stuck.
I think she got out, maybe.
Like,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Because if you said y'all seen sneak peek, I ain't gonna talk about it. But I think she's stuck in there, and they don't show her at all. So we can assume that she's stuck in a beautiful universe, which kind of sucks for her daughter now too.
But it's crazy because the comic book that her daughter wrote, she embodied that comic book because she loved the comic book so much that she became the character that her daughter loves, and I thought that was so beautiful, and amazing for her.
She was wearing the same exact
the astronaut outfit. It was so cute. Okay, so now for my fact.
I think that's it.
No, I'm saying my fact.
Sure. Okay.
So basically, you guys remember when Hip Lady was on the road and there was a black woman on a motorcycle? So
which was weird.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, she hallucinating. She is going insane. But y'all, I had to look it up, and she is real. So her name was Bessie Stringfield, and she actually rode a motorcycle across country in the South, in the Jim Crow South, alone. That's fucking incredible. Black women are amazing. We are incredible. Like, I could never do that in the Jim Crow South where people just throwing these racist ass names at you, probably throwing shit at her, and she just kept doing it. Exactly, yeah. Like, to me, that was incredible to learn. I never knew that. So I'm like, this is crazy. I'm looking forward to so much more to learn about this show. Like,
and you know what? Like, seeing like all the little bits and pieces that we picked up in this show makes me feel like, how much did we not even fucking know? Was I even watching the same show? Right. So it's just crazy. I really like this episode. It's a lot to do with women empowerment.
Really, one of my favorite episodes ever.